To ISKCO of Silicon Valley Sunday Feast discourse. So we'll start our session today by singing this special song, which is called Saparshad Bhagavat Birohojanito Bila. By the way, this picture is wrong because it's not written by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. It's written by Srila Narottam Das Thakur, but yeah, it's okay. So you can see that the title itself says Lamentation due to separation from the Lord and his associates. So this is a song which is sung by Vaishnavas to celebrate the Tirubhav Tithi or the disappearance day festivals of different acharyas. Because for Lord, the disappearance is different, his Janma Karma, and his eternal associates disappearance is also different. It's a festival for all of us. So today is Srila Gopal Bhatta Goswami's disappearance day. He is one of our acharyas in line of Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya. We say that 6 Goswamis, they are the ardent followers of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Gopal Bhatta Goswami is one of them. Srila Rupa Goswami, Srila Sanatana Goswami, Srila Raghunath Das Goswami, Srila Gopal Bhatta Goswami, Srila Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, and Srila Jiva Goswami. These are the premium disciples of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Gopal Bhatta Goswami's disappearance day is on this special tithi. So to remember him, we will start our session today by singing this song. This is a beautiful song, by the way. Excuse me. So in this song, Srila Narottam Das Thakur, I'll give a brief introduction of this song so that you can feel a little bit of connection with the song as well. So in this song, Srila Narottam Das Thakur is praying for the association of Lord and his devotees, associates. So when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked, this is a very often quoted verse, when asked to Ramananda Rai, Dukkha moddhe kon dukkha hoy porotoro, and then he answered, Krishna bhakto biraho vina dukkha na dekhi paro. Among the sufferings, which is the topmost suffering? Chaitanya asked, and Sri Ramananda Rai answered that I see only the suffering which is coming from the separation of the devotees. There is no other suffering in this world. Only that is the suffering. So here that kind of that mood is also introduced by Sri Narottam Das Thakur. He is telling, Je anilo premodhano koruna prachur heno prabhu kotha gela acharya Thakur. The person who brought premodhan, the opulence of devotional love, where are you? Heno prabhu kotha gela acharya. Koruna prachur, and also mercy, not only premodhan, because he is distributing it without consideration. So it also needs some compassion, right? So he has that kind of merciful attitude. Heno prabhu kotha gela, oh my Lord, that kind of Lord. Acharya Thakur means like the acharya, the teacher, the top teacher, where have you gone? And then he's telling, kaha mor swarup rupo, kaha sanatan, kaha daso raghunato, patito pavan. And then he's telling, Kahamur Swarup Goswami. Where is Swarup Goswami? Where is Zupa Goswami? Where is Sanatan Goswami? Where is Raghunath Das Goswami? You are all shelter of the patita, like fallen conditioned souls. Kahamur Bhattu Jugo, Kaha Koviraj, Henokale Kothagela Guru Nataraj. Like where are those devotees? Bhatta Juga means Raghunath Bhatta Goswami and Gopal Bhatta Goswami. Where is Kaviraj Das Goswami? Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami, who wrote Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, is one of the eternal associates of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Ekokale Kothagala Guru Nataraj means like now at this time, where have you disappeared? Oh, Guru Nataraj, the chief among the dancer, means he is addressing Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then he is telling, Pashane kutibo matha onole poshibo, Gaurango gunero nidhi kotha gele paibo. I will break my head or crash my head on a stone and I will sacrifice myself in the fire. Where? Because I cannot find that kind of ocean of qualities in anywhere. Gaurango gunero nidhi, like, which is exhibited by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and its associates. And then Sheshabor Sange je koilo bilash. Sheshabor Sangeror Sange je koilo bilash. Taharo Sango na paiya kande Narottama Das. The person who has enjoyed the pastimes with his associates, it is actually denoting Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Narottam Das Thakur is devoid of that association and that group. So now that's why he's crying now. So we should also cry, we should cry that, we are not able to get association of exalted devotees. Even sometimes we don't even notice it, like, we have also our acharyas present. As acharyas are also associates of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We should not think like they are not, but we should hanker for their association. We should not take it for granted. So this is a very beautiful songs. However, this should not be like for, like, everyone is Vaishnava, everyone has a relationship with Krishna. But this song is especially meant for acharyas in the disciplic line. So if somebody, he's a like initiating a spiritual master, or a very topmost, devotee, we should offer this song on their disappearance day, in their separation. So we can offer this song for His Holiness Bhakti Swami Maharaj also. His disappearance day was also few days back. So I will sing this song to keep in his memories in mind as well. Okay, so you can sing after me. Je anilo pramodhano koruna prachur. Je anilo pramodhano করুণা প্রচুর জয় নীল প্রেম ধন করুণা প্রচুর জয় নীল ধন করুণা প্রচুর। হেন প্রভু কোথা গেলা আচার্য ঠাকুর। হেন প্রভু কোথা গেলা হেন প্রভু কোথা গেলা আচার্য ঠাকুর। হেন প্রভু কোথা গেলা কাহা মোর সারপ্রপ কাহা সনাতন। কাহা মোর সারপ্রপ কাহা সনাতন। কাহা দাস রঘুনাথ পতিত পাবন। কাহা দাস রঘুনাথ পতিত পাবন। কাহা মোর ভট্ট যুগ কাহা কবেরা। কাহা মোর এক গালে কোথা গেলা গোরা নাটরা। এক কালে কোথা গেলা গোরা নাটরা। এক কালে কোথা গেলা গোরা নাটরা। এক কালে কোথা গেলা গোরা পাষাণ কোতেব মাথা অনলে পশিব। পাষাণ কোতেব মাথা অনলে পশিব। Gauranga Gunera Nidhe Kotha Gele Pavo Gauranga Gunera Nidhe Kotha Gele Se Sava Sangera Sange Je Eklavya se sava sangira se sangana paya kande naratamada 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 Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare. Oye Vaishnava Thakur, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Srila Gopal Bhatta Goswami Tirubhapti Mahamahotsav ki jai. Srila Bhakti Chara Swami Maharaj Guru Tirubhapti Mahamahotsav ki jai. Hare Krishna. So I think few days back, last Wednesday, right, was Purnima? Last Wednesday or Tuesday? Wednesday, right? So we celebrated a very famous festival which is called Guru Purnima, right? So on this day we honor all of our Guru Vargas. It is called that this is the appearance day of Vyasadeva, but I could not find any Shastic reference for that. But we know that it is also disappearance day of Srila Sanatana Goswami, who used to be, who is still the Guru of whole Brajavasis, or the follower of Braja Bhaktis. He's one of the gurus or premium gurus of our Sampradaya. So it is also remembered in his name. Also, Srila Bhakti Chara Swami Maharaj also disappeared on the same day. So many of our devotees, they gave different offerings to remember their contribution of their gurus, spiritual master, of different sorts. Like there are different gurus who give you material knowledge. There are gurus who give you particular, aesthetic qualities or, some art, music, those things. But especially the gurus who give you spiritual knowledge, they are the top giver or, the top master of the society. So I thought like maybe we'll actually discuss about a very interesting topic which is coming from Sri Mahabharata, Purana, written by Srila Vyasadeva. It's a huge compilation of 100,000 verses, and it describes the history of Vedic civilization, right? Mahabharata, the great Bharata, the great India. Actually, India is not justifiable. Actually, Bharat Varsha means the whole, earthly planet. India is just a country. Anyways, so there that story of Ekalavya, right? How many of you are familiar with the story of Ekalavya here? Hare Krishna. Okay, there are quite a few. Not everyone knows it seems, but many of you know. So Ekalavya is very famous for his Guru Bhakti, right? He was very. So I will give you a brief narration of the pastimes of Ekalavya, what he did and how he is actually regarded in our society, in our common culture, and then we'll go to the analysis of our acharyas, especially Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, how he actually analyzed the character of Ekalavya and the whole event. So, before going that, let's actually do the Mangalashan prayer and invoke the auspiciousness. Even though we sang the song, but still we will chant some standard prayer. So can you please put up the standard prayer, Prabhu? Okay. Om Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manabhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Sayang Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Sapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanitam Tam Sajivam Sadhaitang Savadutang Parijana Sahitang Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanitam Scha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanto Radha Kanto Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Bancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhayevacha Patitanang Pavanebhya Vaishnavebhya Nama Nama Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukhaṁ karoti vācālaṁ pangam langayate girim yat kripāttamaham vande Shri Guru Dinataranam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanyam Ishwaram Aradhya Bhagavana Vrajena Shatanayas Tadyama Vrindavanam Ramya Kachidupasana Vrajavadvargena Vakalpita Srimad Bhagavatam Pramana Mamalam Prema Pumartha Mahan Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhar Matamidam Tadra Dharana Paraha. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prema Prabhu, Prema Madhav Prabhu, for being here. Hare Krishna. So Ekalavya's pastimes. I think most of you are familiar, but we'll still go. It's not bad to remind those pastimes, and it's not like mundane, lila or mundane stories. These are fact which are there to enlighten us, to take us to a different platform. So the Ekalavya pastimes comes in Mahabharata. So in Mahabharata Adi Parva it comes where the Kuru and Pandava princes, they started learning lessons from Dronacharya. Dronacharya happened to be the teacher, martial art teacher, and also overall teacher of the Kuru dynasty. So he was a very strong, powerful Brahmana. He was born from Bharadwaj Muni, and he was not born like an ordinary person. He was born like his energy was transformed to a patra, which is called a Dron patra, and from there he was born. He was not born of a mother. So it's very powerful. You can see that somebody who is Ajini Sambhuta. So this personality, Dronacharya, he was teaching martial art and other activities, especially Kshatriya Dharma, the Varnashrama, teachings to the princes, the Kuru and Pandava, both family. Actually they are same family, but they are regarded as two different lineages. But the Kaurava and Pandavas are also actually Kauravas because they are descendant of Kuru, right? Kuru dynasty. So he was teaching them. So once one boy, like Pandavas and Kurus, they were both very ardent disciples. However, among them, Arjuna was very sincere. So it is said that when Dronacharya started teaching them, he asked all of his students that I will seek a special Guru Dakshina, a special donation from you once you complete your lesson. It will be a little tougher, but I want you to actually give that thing as donation to me once you complete your lesson. And then he told that who is there to actually take that vow or promise me that you will fulfill my desire. Then Arjuna told Guru Maharaj, I will do. Everyone is hesitant because they did not know that they will be qualified enough to serve that purpose. But Arjuna told, I will do it. Then Dronacharya was very happy. He was like conviction of Arjuna, determination that he would be able to serve his Guru Maharaj to his satisfaction. That really pleased him. So he was very pleased. Now Arjuna, among all the princes here also, he was very sincere. He was serving his Guru. He was listening in a very attentive manner, and he was practicing over time the lessons. That was his qualities. That was very special qualities, and it attracted Dronacharya toward him also. So one time, what happened? Dronacharya was very soft toward his son, Ashwathama. So Ashwathama was also one of the disciples. He was also in that same Gurukul where he was teaching. You know that Gurgaon, right? Gurgaon is actually supposed to be the place where their Gurukul used to be. Gurgaon in Delhi, right? North of Delhi. So there he was teaching Ashwathama along with the other princes. It is said that sometimes even Yaduvangsha princes, they used to come to take lessons from him because he was the topmost teacher at that time. And Bhishma Pitama grandfather Bhishma was very happy. But many of the characters are coming from Mahabharata. So we cannot go into details, so sorry for that. But these are all the main characters of Mahabharata, like Bhishma, Dronacharya, Arjuna, Ashwathama, Duryodhana, Kuru, Pandavas. So Bhishma Pitama was very happy that they are getting lessons from the top teacher of the society. What happened one day? Before that, actually, Ashwathama was taking very special lesson from his father because he thought I will get all the knowledge from my father. I will get more knowledge from my father. I will extract more and I will be the topmost disciple of my father eventually. But Arjuna noticed that Ashwathama is fulfilling his task ahead of time. Like they had a task to bring water from the river, and he was fulfilling somehow or other. He was fulfilling his part very quickly, and he used to go early to his father. And he started getting some special attention, special knowledge transfer from his father. That's why Arjuna, what he started doing, he started using Varunastra. Varuna is the god of water. So that is a weapon. By chanting that weapon or invoking that weapon, it will rain. So it is called Varunastra. So he started using Varunastra to fulfill his water part. And he used to also he started coming back very early to get a special lessons. So now both Arjuna and Ashwatthama are getting same kind of lessons. One day what happened when they were in Gurukula, but the Gurukula is a very austere life, it's brahmacharya, celibate life. Even though they are princes, they had to actually go through because there was no servant. They were doing all their household tasks, daily chores themselves. Even they were assisting their Guru and Guru Mata to prepare for everything. Like if you go to Mayapur Gurukul also, you will see that the small boys, they are actually doing all the services themselves. So what started, what one day happened, they were actually honoring prasadam in the evening, and then in a blow of wind, the lamp, it got extinguished. The flame was not there. And still they were eating. And Arjuna noticed that, in the darkness also he was able to eat. Because he was habituated. Like he knows that, he has to take prasadam, he has to mix it with sabji, and then he has to put it in mouth. He's habituated with that. So he found that, if I practice, archery so much, then I can actually, without light also, without just by sound or by, some kind of my intuition, I can actually shoot arrow. So he started, practicing more. And one day, when everybody was asleep, Dronacharya noticed that, Arjuna is practicing. Like he heard some sound of, throwing of arrows. And he came out and he saw that Arjuna is focused, razor focused, with his target, and he's practicing like that. And he was very pleased. He said, this guy is going an extra bit to get perfection. So he embraced him and he told, I will make you the greatest archer of this whole society. Everybody will consider that Drona's disciple is Arjuna. Like Drona will be known as the guru of Arjuna. It's like that. So Arjuna is very happy that my guru gave me that kind of recognition. It's not out of pride. It's out of, that making the guru happy. Like Srila Prabhupada, he knew that, he made his guru most happy by, doing his service. He's expanding his service to preach in the Western world, to publish so many books, to reach to every household life. He knew that. It's not out of his, I did so much big service. It's a humility also. It's a different contrarian humility. Anyways, so what happened, one day Pandavas, they were actually going for hunting. So Kshatriyas, they were supposed to hunt also because they need to practice their archery, their martial science. It's not that, they will just fight during the warfare. Then they may not able to be fight. Even in current, I think military preparation also, people do mock fight. They prepare so that, they will prepare some ploy or some trap, and they will ask other group to actually, break that or, fight in a manner that they are facing the real enemy, real criminals. So one day when they are going for hunting, they were having some people or some stuffs carried by them, and usually a dog has a very strong smelling power, so they can actually detect that if there is any animal around surrounding, so they can guide, okay, go this way. So their dog, which was leading them, it went a little bit ahead of them. And after some time it came back, and they found a very amazing thing. The whole mouth of the dog was covered by 7 arrows. And it was not able to bark. And they were astonished at how this happened. And somehow or other, they reached to the place where this incident happened, and they found that somebody with a very dark skin color, matted hair, and wearing some tree bark and skin of the animals, he's practicing very diligently archery. He's practicing very diligently, sincerely. And they were astonished. They said, who are you? What are you doing here? How did you learn such kind of archery? Like the dog was shot, the arrows were shot in such a manner that it didn't hurt the dog, but his barking stopped. Like his mouth was just like in a case, like that. Everything is nicely arranged. So perfect. Not hurting, but it stopped its barking completely. So then when they asked, that person said, my name is Ekalavya. I am a son of Hiranyadhanu, who is the Nishada king. Nishada is an outcast. So there is in a Vedic system, Vedic Varnashram system, there's Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra. They are constituting the core Vedic civilization. Out of this civilization, there are also other castes like Kirata, Hunanda, Pulinda, Pulkasha, and Bhagavatam also comes in second canto. So they they are not considered as the core part of Vedic civilization, this caste. So they are outcast. So Nishada is one of the outcast. They are not even Shudras. So his father's kingdom was known as Vil. So he was also known as Vilraj. Vilraj, Hiranyadhanu's son Ekalavya. And then he asked how you could learn such kind of archery. Even Arjuna was astonished because Arjuna used to think like, oh, I am being the topmost archer of our time. But he couldn't understand then how somebody can shoot arrow like that. Then he said like, I am a disciple of Dronacharya. And then Arjuna was a little bit perplexed. Everybody was a little shocked that what happened. Then he took them to a statue of deity of Dronacharya. He said like, this is my Guru Maharaj Dronacharya, and I practice all the archery in front of him, and by his mercy I learned these skills. And then Arjuna was shocked, and he went to his Guru Maharaj, and he said like, Gurudev, you told me that I will be your topmost archer, his disciple, and I will be the topmost archer of the society. But today I met another person whose name is Ekalavya. He was shooting arrow much better than me. I couldn't even think like somebody can shoot arrow like that. So he said, I think he is better student than me. And he said like, I didn't know that you have another student of that caliber. So he was like, she was very humble, and he was also like a little bit asking question to Guru Maharaj in a humble manner that how did this happen. Dronacharya was also perplexed. He said, oh, I don't remember that I have a disciple called Ekalavya. And then he told, okay, take me to the place where this person is located. And he went there, and he found somebody is diligently again doing archery. Even his body is covered with dust. He did not even take shower maybe properly. His outcast, they don't have that kind of chores, daily chores. Anyway, so I'm just commenting on top of my head, but don't take anything personally. But it is described in Mahabharata that he was covered with dust, so a lot of dirt on top of his body. So when he went there, Dronacharya said like, how did you learn this science? And he said like, Guru Maharaj, by your mercy I got it. I worship your deity every day, and I practice archery in front of you. Then he could recall that, okay, long back this person came to me and asked for my tutelage, like teach me. I want to be a great archer. By your teaching I can be, because you are the topmost teacher of the society. When he asked that, Dronacharya said, no, I cannot give you that knowledge. I cannot. So I have some obligation. I cannot give you. And then he was very despondent. He was very hopeless, and he left that place. But he did not give up. He continued with practicing in front of Dronacharya by making him as a deity, or worshipping him in the form of a deity. Now Dronacharya said like, okay, so you learned it from me indirectly, not directly. So give me some Guru Dakshina, because I am your Guru, spiritual master. You give me the Guru Dakshina. Then he said like, okay, Guru Dakshina means donation. Once you complete your lesson, you give some special donation to Guru based on his requirement, not like your comfort zone. It may be uncomfortable for you. Like Krishna was asked to bring back the son of his Guru, Sandipani Muni. I forgot his name. So he brought him back from Yamaloka. So this was very tough. Sandipani Muni knew that only Krishna and Balaram can do that. So Dronacharya asked like, okay, give me the Guru Dakshina. So he said like, what will be your Guru Dakshina, Guru Maharaj? Just ask anything, what I have, everything is yours. And he said like, give your thumb, right hand thumb. Like, he was shooting from right hand. Most of people here are maybe left-handy, but in India, you'll see that people are shooting from right hand. So he was shooting from right hand. So thumb is the most important finger to shoot arrow. So he asked for that, and he immediately took out his knife, and he cut his thumb and offered it to his Guru. And now, if you consider the mundane perspective, what Ekalavya did is a great worship of a spiritual master, right? Wow, he spiritual master, he worshipped his spiritual master in the deity form. Even though he rejected him, he continued his endeavor. He did not give up. And this is material sciences teaching us that. And never give up. If you keep trying, you will get to your destination, right? Anyways, I am not against the material science, but there is a contradiction in spiritual and material understanding. And also it condemns Dronacharya. That, Dronacharya is such a topmost Brahmin, Vaishnava, has so much knowledge, but he is a Kripana. Kripana is like the opposite of Vaishnava actually. Kripana is someone who is very miser. He doesn't want to give. Vaishnava, he is very charitable. He gives everything to everyone. So people think like, okay, Dronacharya did not do a justice. He judged people based on caste, creed, his background, not by his qualities. And they also blame whom? Arjuna, being envious. Oh, Arjuna, what you have done? You wanted to be a biggest archer, and that's why you kind of plotted this incident so that Ekalavya's archery skill is demolished, or it gets vanquished. Because when the right hand thumb is, even though he kept on doing archery afterwards also, but it was not as strong as it used to be. So people think in that way. But Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, and I read this article actually 10 years back, fortunately, and after reading this article, somebody asked me that, oh, Ekalavya's Guru Bhakti was so good. And then I answered based on his explanation. And I thought because Guru Purnima was just observed few days back, and I was searching something in YouTube, like, Ekalavya's Guru Bhakti, positive, negative, many things. Everywhere it is actually praising him, like left and right. Like, just like Karna is praised across Mahabharata, like, oh, Karna is a big hero. But devotees have different understanding. Indra is praised, oh, he killed Vitrasura. Devotees have a different understanding. They go, what to speak about, these people. Even people put blemish on the characters of the Bojavasi devotees, like, Vrindavan devotees, that they have done something wrong. But the devotional characteristics are completely opposite. Like, they cannot be interpreted with mundane logic, the mundane theories. Now let's, discuss in the perspective. So Arjuna is considered as envious. He is like, he was envious and he made this act so that the skill of Ekalavya cannot overtrump him, right? That was those are the common conceptions. Like three characters where Ekalavya is glorified and Dronacharya and Arjuna both are subdued. They are actually kind of vilified for their acts. You don't find anywhere that people are actually praising, unless you come across the article of our Gauriya Vaishnava Acharyas. So Srila Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur explains that if you want to interpret the activities of Vaishnavas, Bhakti and Bhakta based on mundane characteristics, mundane qualities, you cannot find any solution. First of all, the principle Bhakti means devotion, pure devotion. Bhakta means the devotee, and Bhagavan, the Supreme Lord, they're above the jurisdiction of the material nature. Whatever principle they establish, they are beyond the conception of this material nature. So that's why material people, they don't understand Krishna. Janma karma cha me divyam yo beti tattataha tyaktang deva punarjanma naitimameti saharjana. 4.9 it says that whoever understands my transcendental appearance and activities, he doesn't have to take birth. So who will understand that other than bhaktas? And who will give that knowledge? Who is actually already situated in that platform, in the transcendental platform? So bhakti, the devotion, bhakta and Supreme Personality of Godhead, they are the purview of the material nature. They are beyond the purview of the material nature. And that's why Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he says in his Dakshinatra, in his South India travel, he was visiting Kurma Kshetra and then he met the Kurma Brahman who was lamenting for abduction of Sita Mata. How Ravana could actually touch Sita. And then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, no, your understanding is wrong. Ravana never could touch actually Sita. She is the internal energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He cannot even see Sita Devi. And then he gave reference that, aprakito vastu nohe prakrito gochor, Ved Purane to ei to kohe nirantar. Like in the scriptures, Ved and Puranas, it always speaks that by mundane understanding, you cannot understand something which is spiritual, which is transcendental. You cannot. So if you understand, if you are thinking, oh, these pastimes, he did not even see Sita Mata. What to speak of touching her? Anyways, that's a different pastimes. So the point is, we cannot explain the activities of a devotee like Arjuna, who is the topmost devotee. Through him, Lord Krishna descended the most transcendental knowledge, this Bhagavad Gita Upanishad. How can we actually even point a question unto his character, that he is envious. Envy is like the root of all anarthas. How can he be envious? It's not possible at all. There is no tinge bit of envy in the character of Arjuna in this pastime, or in every pastime if you analyze. And what typical Dronacharya? Dronacharya was a very neutral acharya. We'll speak of that. And we are thinking like, okay, Ekalavya did a big, austerity or big sacrifice. We'll analyze that, that was completely mundane. It is not even a tin bit of, Guru Bhakti was there. So first, the characteristics of Dronacharya, because he is the first character here. Everything is centered around him. Dronacharya, he is from a, very aristocratic background. As I mentioned, he is son of Bharadwaj Muni, and he was not born normally. Very special birth. So, if you analyze his characteristics, he was giving his knowledge very freely. One example, if you know that the pastimes that Drupada and Dronacharya both are friends. They went to same Gurukul, under Bharadwaj Muni, maybe his father's Gurukul, and they learned together. They became very good friend. And then Drupad, out of boyhood frolic nature, he said that, okay, whatever I have, half of it is yours. He just said it. Dronacharya took it serious because he's a Brahmin, right? Brahmins are very satya. What is the characteristics of Brahmin? Daya, satya, tapo, shocha, right? Shantirartha, ajabam, evacha, right? Jnana, vijnana, astikyam, brahmaka. Samadhama, tapo, shocha. Yeah. There are 9 characteristics here, and then 12 characteristics also there in Sanat Sujita Shastra, which is quoted by Prahlad Maharaj. Anyway, so Satya is one of the characteristics of the Brahmanas, but not for Kshatriya. They have to actually sometimes ploy, they are diplomatic. So Drupada did not remember that promise. Like one time, Drupanacharya, when everything is completed, Brahmanas are by nature poor, so he was going through very extreme poverty, very poverty. And his wife told, we have one son. We are not able to give him milk. They were he was running for milk, but they didn't have any cow. So his friends, sometimes they used to actually put water in the wheat powder or barley, and then, he used to think like, oh, this is milk, and he used to drink it. So his mother, mother's love and affection, she was very disheartened to see that the plight of his son. And then what happened? He told, why don't you go to your friend? His friend is a big king, Drupad, Panchal Desh, one of the big dynasty. So go to him. And then when he went there, and he asked okay, friend, yeah, you told me that I am your friend and I should get half of your kingdom. I came here. Then he said, Drupad, he actually kind of, dishonored him. He said, you are considering me yourself as a friend? You're a very poor Brahmin, and I am a very opulent, Kshatriya king. How can we be friends? Friendships are always happening between equals. Maybe when we are in Gurukul, we are equals, but now we are not equals. So I cannot, if you ask as a charity, as a Brahman, I can give many cows as you want, as many cows as you want, but not as a friend. And it actually hurt Dronacharya. And then he had that, kind of mood that I will take revenge. And then when the Pandavas, they completed their lessons, he asked the Guru Dakshina donation that, okay, you defeat Drupad and get the Drupad kingdom to me. And then Pandavas, they actually fulfilled that vision, that wish. And what happened? When this happened and Drupad got dishonored, he told okay, Drupad, you did not keep your promise, but I will keep my promise. And now you are poor, but I am rich, but I give my half of kingdom to you so that you become equal and we become friend again. Yeah. Then Drupad felt, the Kshatriya, that, the ego was hurt. And then he said okay, I will take a revenge. So he did a special sacrifice. And from that sacrifice, Drishtadyumna and Draupadi were born. These two, celestial personalities, I should say, because they were not like ordinary birth. From the Yagya Kunda, fire sacrifice, they were born. So Drishtadyumna was supposed to kill Dronacharya. However, who is the martial art guru of Drishtadyumna? Anyone knows? Dronacharya. He was sent to Dronacharya that, okay, I'll learn martial art from him. And Dronacharya knew that, he will be killing me in future. But he was not a kripana, a miser, not to give knowledge, because that is the quality of a Brahmana. A Brahmana gives knowledge to anyone who is eligible. Like, Jawal Satyakam. That Satyakam, whose mother was like, a maid servant, and she did not know how Satyakam was born. And when he went to Gautama Rishi, he asked like, oh boy, who is your father? Tell me, who is your father? Then he said like, oh, I don't know my father. Let me ask my mom. And she went to Jabala, and then he asked that, Mama, who is my father? Please tell me. And he said that, okay, I don't know your father. I served in many places, and by blessings, I don't know how you were born. Blessings means like, she was maid servant, so that time, the custom was different. Anyways, we don't want to go to detail. So she said like, just tell that, this is what my mom said to your master. Then when he went to the master, Gautama Muni, he told the exactly same thing what his mother told to him. And then Gautama told, oh, you are a Brahmana. Because other than Brahmana, somebody cannot tell this kind of hard truth. You are a Brahmana, so you are eligible to get knowledge from me. So they did not say that, oh, from where they are coming. They used to consider the qualities. Their quality is very important. So quality-wise, Drishtadharma was eligible to get the knowledge. Even though in future, foretold that he will be killing, that is a different part. But he had that quality. Because Kshatriya people has a very important quality, which is patience, dharya. Apart from their chivalry, that dharya, they know, and forgiveness. They can forgive people. If you are very powerful and if you don't have patience, you can create calamities to the world. And that's what's happening in this modern world, right? So this Dronacharya was not like a, just ordinary Brahman. So he did not treat Ekalavya based on his caste, creed and background. So he was very neutral. But there are some points to consider here. First, he was teaching to princes. He is not a prince. He is not a royal prince. Royal prince means like who are like Kshatriya kings. Then he has some obligation. Like he was maintained by it's not his private Gurukula. It's a Kuru dynasty Gurukula, where Kuru dynasty, they were allowing people to come based on their relationship. Now this what is this Ekalavya. Ekalavya belonged to a community who are against the Kuru dynasty. Like this Hiranyadhanu, they were very close to Magadha, Jarasandha, this demoniac king. So they are very close. So how Kuru dynasty was supposed to actually allow this kind of behavior from Dronacharya, that you are teaching people who are like nuisance to us, who will commit problems to us in future if they get like topmost knowledge from you. It's not supposed to be. And the most important thing, or the third thing, is the quality. The quality of Ekalavya was not good. You can see that he could not even tolerate barking of a dog. A dog was barking, and the nature of a dog is barking. It will bark when it sees an unknown body or an unknown smell, anything. It keeps barking, and after some time it stops. Then when it doesn't feel any imminent danger, right? It stops. But he could not tolerate it. He thought like it's a disturbance. Let's stop it. He was so impatient. So if this kind of people get highest type of knowledge, what kind of havoc the society will have? And that's what's happening right now. People are getting knowledge based on their quality, not based on their character. So he had quality, definitely, because he was very diligent, he was practicing hard, he was very industrious, and he was kind of surrendered, not completely surrendered. This surrender is like for external, gain. Like there are different types of surrender. He want to get something, that's why he will show that, submissiveness, right, for the time being. So in that manner, he approached him. So he could understand that if this person becomes top archer of the society, then society will not get anything good from him. It will only create problems. So that's why, and this kind of masters were there at that time. They could see the inner person, the mood of the inner person. Not the external bodily shape, body thing. So that's why he rejected. So this is justified that Dronacharya, why he rejected, right? Is there any question on Dronacharya's behavior? Anything you think like, okay, Dronacharya should have done better, or it's not justified that Dronacharya did not reject properly? Okay, so then that means everyone is convinced. Now let's go to the part of Ekalavya. Okay, so interesting part is, first of all, you see, when Dronacharya said that Ekalavya, I won't give you the knowledge, he did not stop there. So this is a disobedience to the spiritual master, right? When the spiritual master says you something, if you are surrendered, you unconditionally do it. Right? But what Ekalavya did? No, I know better than my spiritual master. I am eligible to get this knowledge, and I will steal this knowledge from him. He did not allow, just like Krishna says that munjante te agam paka ye agam papa ye pachante atma karanat. The person yagya shishta shina shanta munchante sarva kilveshai munjante te agam papa ye pachante atma karanat. The person who eats for his own sense pleasure, he is actually accumulating sin by stealing, because it is not offered to Krishna, right? That third chapter, I think, verse. So similarly, he stole that knowledge. And then the second case, he's pretending that, I am a big Guru Bhakta because I sacrificed my Bridhyanguli, means like the thumb, right hand thumb. Now, the Acharya, Srila Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada explained that it is actually completely wrong what people are thinking. Why? If he is that kind of Guru Bhakta, initially he would have accepted what his Guru said. That, my Guru knows better than me. Right? Of course my Guru knows better than me. What is my adhikar? What kind of knowledge? Even he is testing him. Like, maybe Dronacharya would have tested him that, whether he can wait for me or how long he can actually bear this separation. Or how can he purify himself to get the knowledge from me. He would have waited. No. He went on his own, made a deity, and learned or stole that knowledge from Dronacharya. This is one thing. Second thing is, he wanted to prove the mundane principle that, I am doing some big sacrifice for my Guru Maharaj. To not glorify Guru, glorify myself. Because when this came in broad daylight, what happened? Everybody started blaming Dronacharya. Hey, Dronacharya, you are so mean-minded. You don't give knowledge to everyone. You are a Brahmana, supposed to give knowledge to everyone. What is the 6 activities of a Brahmana? Yajan, Patan, Yajan, Dana Pratigraha, right? Like he studies and he gives the knowledge. He performs sacrifices and performs sacrifice on behalf of other people. And he accepts donation and gives donation. These are the 6 activities done by a Brahmana. So he say, by this pastime, Dronacharya became subdued and Ekalavya became higher. Which is not like a Guru's glories, right? You want to glorify Guru rather than by your activities, not to subdue him. And the worst part is, he was fearful how the society will accept his disobedience to his spiritual master. One time he already disobeyed his spiritual master. First time, that he went on his own. He did not accept it. Second time he disobeyed. Society will say, this guy is actually, maybe first time people can forgive your offense. Second time, you are gone. You are a gone case. So he was fearful that, I will not be glorified. Even though somebody can be skillful, but if his character is not good, mundane character, people will not accept it. So he was fearful of that. And third thing, he was thinking like, even though I disobeyed him for the first time, he forgave me. That was not kind of a direct disobedience. But this time if I disobey, then he can curse me so that my all knowledge can be withdrawn. Or I can be also fallen down. So this is his first problem, that his activity, the cutting of the finger, is completely in a mundane platform. The second thing is his approach. Why did he approach Dronacharya? He wanted to be the biggest archer of the society. And then what he did, he found the best teacher to get that knowledge. It's not he went to the teacher to get best teacher to get whatever he feels he is eligible to get. Rather than he wanted to surprise, and that also who? Arjuna, a topmost Vaishnava. He wanted to surprise him. My glories will be sung over Arjuna as an archer. That was his mood. It's a demoniac mood. Vaishnavas don't believe in that principle. Vaishnavas want to be always servant of the servant of the servant of the servant. Multiple servants, as many as servants. They never. This is also concept of Ativadi Sampradaya. One of the Upper Sampradaya. There are 13 Upper Sampradayas enunciated by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Aul, Baul, Nera, Neri, Darvesh, Shai, Karta Bhaja, Churadhari, Shokhi Bheki, Gauranga Nagari, and Ativadi. Ativadi actually, they sprouted in Jagannath Puri area. One person called Jagannath Das, he was the leader of Ativadi, and they were their activities are like, I want to be the great. And that's why Vaishnava Maharaj, he speaks, right? Don't want to be a great devotee, be a good devotee. Because great devotee or somebody who will be glorified, it's completely in the jurisdiction of Krishna. Krishna will decide whose name will be glorified. Somebody can be a great devotee. You may not know it. In fact, he will try to hide. The person whose glories we are singing today in the beginning of the class, Gopal Bhatta Goswami, when Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami approached for his blessings, please bless me, Maharaj, because he was one of the topmost acharyas at that time. Raghunath Das Goswami, Gopal Bhatta Goswami, Loknath Goswami, they were alive at that time. When he approached him, he said, okay, I bless you, but there is one condition. Don't mention me in your book. This is an acharya's mood. They don't want to be glorified. Because what material thing can actually give them? And like glory is also material. It's not a spiritual platform. If Krishna wants, Krishna will give you Vaishnavi Pratishtha. That's a different realm. Like, what is that? Madhavendra Puri. He was hiding from the Pratishtha, but that was following him. Pratishtha Bhaye Puri Gela Palaya, Krishna Bhakti Pratishtha Sange Chole Gadaya. He was hiding from Pratishtha, but it was following him wherever he was going. Oh, this is the Madhavendra Puri for whom Kirchara Gopinath stole the kheer. So that is not a Vaishnava conception, what Ekalavya is doing. He wanted to be an archer for his own glorification, subduing a Vaishnava's position. And that was a big offense. And the third thing in this whole episode of where Ekalavya did wrong is that he started to establish that impersonal philosophy. That you can get the knowledge, you can get the intricate knowledge without following a Mohanta Guru, without following a living Guru. You just make a deity, you just make something personal, do some puja, and you will start practicing. By your own qualities, you will get it. That's not a Vaishnava philosophy. That's not even a spiritual philosophy. Spiritual philosophy is by the mercy of Guru and Krishna you get. Yasya deve parabhaktir, tatha deve tatha guru, yasyaste katitahi artha, prakashante cha mahatmana. All the imported knowledge of the scriptures will get revealed in your heart when you have implicit faith in Guru and Krishna. And these are persons. These are not impersonal. He was considering himself as a spiritual master, but this spiritual master is completely in oblivion of his activities. He's not, he's not even aware that what he is doing, how he is actually accepting me as a guru. So these will attract the material people. The material people, what will go? We go to YouTube, these impersonal course, that impersonal course, and gather a lot of knowledge, information. But that doesn't make any transformation. That realization, any wisdom. It doesn't manifest. It will give some bombard some information upon our intelligence. So that's why people, even though they are so knowledgeable apparently, the doctors, engineers, even the biggest criminals of the society or terrorists, they are very educated. If you're not educated, then how can they do such kind of heinous activities? Because their transformation is not there. They have the knowledge, but it's used for all wrong purposes. So he was establishing that impersonal philosophy or getting knowledge, which is completely opposite doctrine of spiritual science. So this is character of Ekalavya. Now we will end with the part of character of Arjuna. So first of all, you see that in this whole episode, who is most despised? Who is? Arjuna. Right? Because of Arjuna, Dronacharya went there. Arjuna was envious, okay. But actually, he is the most glorified person of this character. And he showed the real Guru Bhakti. How? When Dronacharya said that, okay, my boy, I will make you the topmost archer. I will be known by as your Guru. Such a position you will get. It was his duty to fulfill the vow or the words of his spiritual master. It's not for his own ego. But because of the glories of a Brahmana, because of glories of his teacher, he had to, establish that truth. So that's why he humbly told that, Guru Maharaj, you have a disciple who is better than me. It's not that, oh, Guru Maharaj, please stop him. How can? No challenging mood. It was a very humbly mood that, Guru Maharaj, I noticed that you have a disciple better than me. And he wanted to make sure that in future, people will not point a finger to Dronacharya and say that, this person has no Bhak Siddhi. And whatever he says, it doesn't manifest. A person of that stature, their words are bonds. Their words are there, like their words are truth. It's not like us, like we say a lot of things to, tame, like I say a lot of things to my daughter. I try to not. My wife says more than me, that I will give you that, I said, no, don't say that, it's not correct. But sometimes you have to say, to tame them or, yeah. Anyways, so to chide them also sometimes you have to make fearful, gestures. So this was not the case for Dronacharya. He is like a Satyanishta, is a very truthful Brahmana. So it was a duty of Arjuna to keep the vow of his spiritual master intact, not for his own case. He was not even inclined to fight, because his all glories came after the fight of Kurukshetra, right? Where he confronted all the big warriors, Bhishma Pitamaha, Dronacharya, his guru, Karna, especially Karna, because there was like duel between Karna and Arjuna. So he defeated all of them. So that was but he didn't want to even fight in that battlefield, right? So he was so detached. So that mundane perspective, it doesn't apply at all. There, by taking all the blame upon him, he is actually showing the real Guru Bhakti. This is the explanation of, actually beautiful explanation. This comes in Upakhyan Upadesh in volume 2 of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's compilation of different historical pastimes and what to learn from that. And he rejects all mundane views while explaining these anecdotes. And then second point is, he was the most benefactor to Ekalavya. He knew that if this person gets more knowledge and become more expert, he will use it for all wrong reasons. Nishada, no quality, Kshatriya quality, no quality to how to control the power, and no quality to also accept the Guru as real. He is just accepting Guru as a statue. Okay, this is my Guru, his statue is real. It's not that Srila Prabhupada is present here. We're not telling that Guru's statue is not, but he is overcoming, or he is creating a new conception of impersonalism, which is very detrimental for his own growth. He will go more down. And then what will happen? He will get cursed from a Brahmana, or maybe some other Guru, or somebody, or he will go down and down as a demon. So he wanted to stop that, falling. So that's why it was a big, big benediction from the part of Arjuna to Ekalavya. Even though it seems like, okay, he took the position of the greatest archer from Ekalavya, but it is not the case, original case. So that is another point. And of course, the impersonal conception that Arjuna, as a pure devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he always appreciates the personal worship of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he can never tolerate such kind of conception where you get things based on your quality without the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, or without the sanction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So in conclusion, how we can say, even though we have so many arguments, but one thing, on top of all these arguments, one thing assures that what we have discussed here, that actually gives the real purport of this pastime, is that Ekalavya was killed by Lord Krishna himself. Krishna, in a battle with the Jarasandha and co, he killed Ekalavya. He was a warrior fighting against Krishna. If he had been a true disciple of Dronacharya, he would have never killed. A true disciple who is very ardent, who is sincere, Krishna never would have killed him personally. So that was another point which was mentioned by Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, that because of his lack of Guru Bhakti, he fell from his position, and that's why Krishna delivered him by killing. Okay, he had some kind of Guru Bhakti, mundane Guru Bhakti is there, but it was not to the platform of highest spirituality. So that's what I wanted to discuss regarding the pastimes of Ekalavya. If you have any realization, any comment, any chastisement or anything, feedback, or anything you want to connect with, any Bhagavatam story also, please feel free. I want to hear from you. And based on the time we have, afterwards we can discuss something else. Yeah. Hare Krishna. Anyone? Okay. Shri Mukharvind Prabhuji. Sripad Mukharvind Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Dear Koladwipa Prabhu, thank you for such a scholarly presentation and bringing the tattva in forefront. What is the real tattva? And I was just thinking few days back, like in the similar context that now in modern time, if you see, I was seeing that, okay, like an example, suppose if I had to learn some cooking, I just see the YouTube video, or if suppose I had to connect with some teacher, for I don't know how many, any XYZ devotees, I can just start learning in the YouTube and watching their lectures and all. So is that, can you give some comment, like how does it apply, or it doesn't apply in this kind of context in the modern thing? It also comes in impersonal way, or we can make something if you have thoughts. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. So in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says the spiritual master and disciples relationship has three connection or three connecting point, right? Tad viddhi pranipatena pariprashrena sevaya upadekshanti jnanam ganinas tattvadarshina. So first is pranipat, surrender to the spiritual master. Pariprashna, asking relevant questionnaires to the spiritual master. And then seva, the serving of the spiritual master. Then the knowledge which is imparted by the spiritual master, that will get revealed to your heart. So you can understand, I think it's like you have only one-sided, maybe even that, like you have some respect, definitely some respect is there, pranipat is there, but pariprashna and seva part are missing in that context, right? So some knowledge, I feel like, practical knowledge is okay, my understanding, but if something is like gurumukhi vidya, means like you want to learn some music, you want to learn some special culinary skill, then it's better to learn under some expert guidance. Maybe some one or two preparations is okay, but overall, the excellency will not be coming without, learning from a Mohant Guru, personal teacher. Like, Bhakti Chari Swami Maharaj, he was a very good cook. His name is Bhakti Chari Swami Maharaj because he learned many of the aspects of cooking from Srila Prabhupada. Her Grace Jamuna Mataji was an excellent cook. She learned it from Prabhupada personally, right? It's not that, she traveled different places and she collected a lot of books and she just read through the books and maybe sometimes it helps some aspects, but the things will be coming from, somebody who has that personal experience, right? So that's my understanding, Prabhu. I know some knowledges can be like application knowledge, I will say, that, you can learn by your own, like using some tools or something. But to go into deep, you need some guidance, where you can ask questions and you get, more deeper, Anybody wants to add anything? I see that many senior devotees are here. Sri Gopal Prabhu is there. Ananda Radhika Mataji is there. So our Prema Prabhu is there. Premi Mataji. If you want to add anything, Raman Saka Prabhu is there also maybe. Please feel free, okay, if you want to add anything on whatever I have said. Makes sense, Prabhu? I don't know, Prabhu, you know answer, but to enlighten other devotees, you are asking these questions. Any other question or comment? Yes, Prema Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhu, for the lecture. Yeah, regarding on the ways that we get knowledge, we know that there are three types or three ways that we can get knowledge, like pratyaksha, hanumana, and shabda. And yeah, the ones that we have to follow is like shabda, like hearing from the authority and follow. So yeah, we need that to have that faith, and also what you said about the 3 points between the relation of the master and the disciple. Yeah, so faith is there because in Shabda you have to hear and you have to trust on the source.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thanks for, I think there is also similar kind of verse in Srimad Bhagavatam, Pratyaksha itijya anumana Pratyaksha Aitijya Anumana Chatushtaya. There is another. Shruti Pratyaksha Aitijya Anumana Chatushtaya. Pramanada Navasthanat Vikalpa Savirajyate. Right? That's, these are, anyways, So, great, Prabhu. Thank you for bringing that point. Sri Kumar Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Actually, I also wanted to just thank you. While driving, we were continuously hearing your amazing these lecture. Especially, I was when you started Eklavya pastimes, I thought, okay, how is it going to go? But then you really brought out all those important aspects, and how based on how the shastras are defining the actual mood of Ekalavya, and really clarified all the misconceptions that the general society generally brings forward. So thank you so much for this amazing.
Correct, Hare Krishna. So, in one of his presentation, one of his writings actually, Srila Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada was telling that to arrest the current tide of degradation of the modern society is the only service of Gauriya Math. What is the motto of Gauriya Math? To arrest the current degrading tide of the modern society, because modern society is introducing a lot of concept which is morally degrading us, characterally degrading us. Maybe externally we are becoming sophisticated, opulent. So that's why these conceptions are very popular in the society, that by your own endeavor you can achieve anything, even though it may not be in your karma. Maybe Krishna doesn't want you to get it, but you want to get it by your own volition or or endeavor. So those kind of conceptions are not applicable in devotional path. It's something it should be bestowed by the spiritual master, and you should be asking for his mercy rather than going over his instruction. Disobedience to the guru is that Guru Rapakya is the third offense to the holy name, right? So he started his journey. It's may not be a spiritual journey, but whatever journey he started with the disobedience to the spiritual master. So how can he be glorified as the proper Guru Bhakta, right? So Hare Krishna. Anybody else wants to add anything? Okay, Giridhari Prabhu, Hare Krishna. Yes. I don't have 360 views, sorry. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. I was just wondering about Ekalavya, so he didn't, Dronacharya didn't accept him as his disciple in their first meeting, right? So then is it wrong for him to continue to pursue archery, or because I at least as I understood the story, I thought Dronacharya told him just that he cannot teach him. Did he say he cannot learn archery? Or?
He wanted to get the knowledge from the topmost teacher because he wanted to be great, and Dronacharya was the greatest teacher at that time. So that's one of the reasons. He could have maybe gone to another teacher also, but he wanted to get the best. Okay, yeah. So many signs like even among the disciples of Dronacharya, you don't see that everybody got same kind of knowledge. Once, Kauravas asked that what Arjuna has done that we hadn't done to receive the best, knowledge or become the best of archery. What he has done is special. Then Dronacharya made he has that, firm determination that I need to actually fulfill my Guru's desire. That is one thing. And he has complete faith in Guru and Krishna. Full devotion to Krishna and me. So these are the two various distinctive qualities which make him exclusive, which made him exclusive. And that's why he became the topmost. And that's why the knowledge which was not received by Ashwatthama, he received it, right? Brahmastra, he only knew how to throw it. He didn't know how to withdraw it. And he knew that even though Ashwatthama is a Brahmana, he didn't have that much Brahminical quality. That's why he could kill someone in the night. That's not a Brahminical quality. That's not even a Kshatriya quality. Kshatriya, even Duryodhana did not accept it. He kind of, rejected him. That how could you do such kind of heinous act? In the dead night, you were killing Drishtadhanma, the 5 Pandava sons. How could you do that? So Dronacharya also knew that. But however, he was very compassionate or very soft towards his son. That's why he gave that knowledge, but not complete knowledge. Only Arjuna had complete knowledge of everything. Everything. And that's why Visha and Dronacharya knew that we have to, keep everything away from Arjuna. If Arjuna is there, then he will be victorious for sure. Because yatra partha dhanirdhara, Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna, Yatra Partha Dhanurdhara, Tattara Sri Vijayi, Sri Niti Bhuti Iti Bhutir Bhava. Like the last verse, right? What is the verse? Sorry, Mataji. Sri Vijay Bhava. Correct. Sri means like Lakshmi Devi and Vijay, like the all glories, all victories. Okay. Hare Krishna, Dipananda Prabhu. Dibbanam Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Very nice class. So, Prabhu, what should be, when we read the book of our acharyas, what should be our attitude so that we get knowledge like Arjuna and not like Eklavya?
Okay, read Acharya. Acharya's books are mostly like you read Acharya's book to get the understanding, the inner perspective, right? So when you read Acharya's book, you don't question, in a very like challenging manner. You may question to somebody who is more knowledgeable to understand it more detail. That's my understanding, because the knowledge will be revealed based on your situation. If you are not in a very high platform, you may not understand all the aspects of spiritual subject matters, especially how the time is working, how the jivas are created, where they are coming from. These are very controversial topics. It gets revealed to your heart. But if you are like, okay, I have to understand it, otherwise I don't want to progress, then it is a problem. So my understanding is the acharyas have given enough information, but to digest it, your sadhana, yeah, that's why there is a difference between samanya bhakti and sadhana bhakti. Samanya bhakti is like general principle of devotion, like okay, you come, you go to temple. Going to temple is not enough. You have to do some seva also there, right? And that can be different, like paying obeisances or chanting Anyway, so the point is, Prabhu, you have to actually study under the auspice of a Bhagavad Acharya. Then if you have any confusion, that will be dispelled, because even though they may not actually answer very scholarly, but you will be satisfied. That's an important point. So I give that example, right? Where Gaurkishadas Babaji Maharaj, one time Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he just asked like, my Prabhu, my master, please recite a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam. And he recited an excellent verse from Bhagavatam. And then he said like, okay, give some commentary on this verse. And he gave an excellent commentary. And he said, oh, my Prabhu, you know so much details you have so much scholarship. And then he said, okay, can I actually explain this verse in this manner? And he gave an explanation, which actually kind of blew the mind of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. He said like, even Lord Krishna cannot give explanation like that. Only somebody like Radharani, she can actually give explanation, because she knows these details. Krishna doesn't know that. It's a little bit superfluous, but the point is like, the pure devotees, they are like, depth is so much, they can satisfy anyone by simple answer. By simple answer, they'll say, okay, just chant Krishna. Srila Prabhupada sometimes he'll say, chant Harinam. People will be satisfied. Yes, I will chant Harinam sincerely. Okay, so that's the point. Hare Krishna. Okay, Anirudh Nitai Chat Prabhu is there. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Nandapalam. Thank you for the nice class. I was thinking something about Ekalya's perspective, that being from a Nishada family, actually, practically also, he didn't need archery skill to do his profession, Guna Karma Vibhaga. So in that perspective also, he was opting for something which, probably doesn't go with his profession and also his varna and also his nature. And I was thinking similarly, Prabhu, on Karna's perspective. Karna also approached the Dronacharya for learning archery. Dronacharya rejected him because outwardly he was from a family which was who were driving chariots for the kings. Like his father was in royal service for driving a chariot. So on that perspective, Dronacharya rejected him. But then he went to Parshuram to get knowledge, and there he kind of presented himself as a Brahmana, which he is not, because Parshuram had this vow that he will only teach to Brahmanas. And then he got the knowledge, but then later Parshuram found it out, and then he was cursed that this knowledge will be of no use to him when in his final battle. So in that sense, I think like cheating Guru, or like trying to get the knowledge by cheating from Guru, is also kind of not very good. And Karna kind of did that. So that's you were saying of some other examples to bring up. So I just thought of this one. Just doing by oneself without guru's assistance is not good. Then also like trying to get the knowledge by cheating, that's also not good. I mean, honesty is required when there's a guru-disciple relationship.
Yeah, thank you for bringing up that pastimes as well, because this is also one of the famous Mahabharata pastimes. So yeah, so there are different types of disciples, but there are major two categories, Sat Sishya and Asat Sishya. Sat Sishya is always dependent on a spiritual master. He is like meek and humble and under the shelter of the spiritual master. And Asat Sishya, he thinks like he knows better than his spiritual master. He tries to go beyond, or okay, maybe my guru is not qualified enough, I know better, or I know how to cheat him to get my own things. So we should try to be at least Satsitsa, because many times we becomes, yeah. Thank you, Babu. So I think there is another hand raised. Hare Krishna. Oh, thank you, Babu. 5 minutes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
It's interesting, you talked about Arjuna being the greatest warrior. I guess I read about him being Gudakesha, where he won night and he could practice in the night. Could you just comment on that? It's an interesting thing, so I want to...
Correct, Gudakesha means like Arjuna did not need any sleep. He could fight for day and night. And he was also known as Sabyasachi. He could throw arrow with his both hands. So he has some special characteristics as an archer, as a warrior. Even in fact, it said like Dronacharya gave attention to all disciplines when Arjuna practiced. Like like they have like mace fight. They fight with sword, fight with spears. So fight on top of an elephant or horse. He used to give a special attention because he has some kind of attraction towards Arjuna also because of his sincerity. And that's natural. We are not impersonal. That's why Krishna gives more attention to the devotee who gives more attention to him. So same thing happens in the material world also. Like even among the sons or daughters, you will give more attention to one who gives more attention to you or more caring about you. So it's not like, yeah. So Gurakesha is that a point. The Gurakesha means somebody who can awake himself at night. He doesn't have to sleep. I think that is the literal meaning of Gurakesha, right? Yeah.
So yeah. Prabhu, was it unique to Arjuna? I mean,
Gurak, I think Gurak is sleep, and Ish means control. So he controls sleeping. Yeah. Yeah, maybe I cannot comment, Prabhu. But my understanding is like for any yogis, this should be controlled. Like our Srila Prabhupada, he used to sleep 1.5 hours to 2 hours every day. I don't know how he could do it, but they have control because they are like perfected the yoga process. So the yogis can do like things which we cannot interpret based on our situation. But my understanding is should be control. It should be possible, right? It's not impossible, but not for everyone. Definitely not for everyone. Yeah, that's my understanding. Hare Krishna. Okay. Okay, Vijay Damodar Prabhu, you have something to add? Yes. Come.
From outside the topic today.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Vaji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for the class. Prabhu, the question is on SB 1211, Brahmeti Paramatmati Bhagavan. So there the wordings say the tattva. And we talk only about the implementation. We talk about Paramatma, Bhagavan and Brahman, but we don't talk about the tattva. So why is the tattva missing? One way to look at it is, iron is a tattva. You make a steel door out of it. You make coils out of it. So we can talk about all of them. But wouldn't you normally or logically think that we should talk about the iron Fe3, which is a more core aspect of it? So no one talks about the tattva, at least it's called Krishna consciousness. What's your view or direction on that?
I don't know what you mean by tattva. But my point is, Prabhu, tattva is anything truth about the absolute, personality or his devotees, right? So Brahman, yeah, go ahead. Prabhu.
Can we get that verse up, SB1?
Yeah, Brahman Paramatma, yeah. Padantita tattva vidas tattam yas jnanam adhyayam brahmeti paramatmati bhagavan iti sabdate. That 1 to 11. Anyway, so yeah, that's like that non-dual of like Vadanti tat tattva tattam gyanam adhyayam. That adhyaya tattva means like non-dual existence can be interpreted in three ways, which is one is Brahman, one is Paramatma, one is Bhagavan. And Srimad Bhagavatam is all about describing these three aspects, right? That's my understanding. The tattva is there. In fact, without tattva, the sambandha gyan, tattva means the sambandha gyan, the relationship, how can you actually go to the platform of prayajana? You cannot.
So prayajana comes much later.
Yes,
if
exactly.
I can ask.
Avidya,
Yeah, what I'm saying is, just by looking at the starting of SB, SB says the culmination of Vedanta, and Vedanta Sutras all are there, and there's an element of Bhagavan in it. So by this saying, if you, Prabhu, can you go down to the translation? So it says, learned translation who know the absolute truth, call this like this. So if they don't call it like that, then what is it that they know? If they call it, it's okay. I can call you Mr. Koladwipa, I call you anything. But I know you as a person who can be described in 500 different ways. Person made of bone, skeleton, person very intelligent, a person who's a devoted Vaishnava. So these are aspects how you can know them. But there's a absolute truth. The absolute truth part is not differentiated from Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagavan, whereas there is differentiation between Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagavan as it is described. So why is there no description for the absolute truth, which is abstracted from Bhagavan? That's my question.
Okay, Prabhu, your question is a little difficult, but I understand to some extent what you are trying to say. The point is, Prabhu, these definitions are coming in different lines of thoughts. First is Brahman. Yadvaitang Brahma Upanishadi Tadupasyatanova. So Upanishad, they speaks about Brahman, which is the effulgent of the bodily, effulgent of the Supreme Absolute Truth. Yat anta atma antaryami purusha iti sahasyang suvibhava. The yogis, they meditate on the super soul who resides in the heart. So that is the Paramatma accept. And then Sharaisharya Purna Bhagavan Iha sa ayam. That means that the Supreme Absolute Truth who is full of six opulences, Aishwarya, Virya, Yashri, Jnana, Vairagya, renunciation, knowledge, beauty, fame, those things. These are the three aspects and coming in three different lines. One is coming in the Upanishad worshippers, the impersonalist, which is also Jnana Yoga because they like jostle with that knowledge. Then another one is Paramatma, who are the yogis who concentrate on the heart. And then another one is the Bhagavan, who has six features, who is like a person. And also they say like, Brahman is only the Sat aspect, that eternity aspect. Then Paramatma is Sat and Chit, eternity and knowledge. And then Bhagavan is Sat, Chit and Ananda. So there are three different school of thoughts. However, all these three are transcendental. Srila Prabhupada said like, even though Brahma Upanishad is like an impersonalist, but they are also transcendentalist, not karmis. So these are the three schools of thoughts, and they are all considered in the bracket up. That's why that verse also comes, right? 1710, Atmaramascha Munaya, that Atmarama verse, Atmarama, these are also Atmarama. Anybody who is situated in Brahman platform is an Atmarama. What is that verse? Brahmavute Prashanna Atma Nashachiti Na Kangshati. So, yeah, anyways, these are all tattvas, Babu. Sorry, we're out of time. Sorry, Babu. Maybe we'll discuss it some other time. I just want to, speak something about Gopal Bhatta Goswami for 1 minute. It starts now, the time. So, Srila Gopal Bhatta Goswami is one of the topmost acharyas, and he in Krishna Lila is represented as Guna Manjari. He hails from a very opulent Brahminical cultural family from Srirangam, Tamil Nadu. Sriranga Kshetra, and his uncles and fathers were all very ardent worshippers of Ranganath Swami, Tirumal Bhatta, Venkat Bhatta, and Prabodhananda Saraswati. And he got a special blessings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was in a pilgrimage tour in South India. And for 4 months, he stayed in place of Venkat Bhatta to bless him and to also accept Gopal Bhatta or empower him as an acharya. He is already his eternal associate, but to give a special association to Gopal Bhatta Goswami. So one time, this is a very less known fact. One time Gopal Bhatta Goswami was going with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and then he wanted to see his Navadvip, features. So Gopal Bhatta Goswami was like 16, 17 years younger than Mahaprabhu. So he was in boyhood when Mahaprabhu was 24 plus during his pilgrimage. So he could not see his, this Navadvip features. He wanted to see it. He was thinking like, I'm missing that, I'm just seeing sannyas base. Then Mahaprabhu like, by his own inconceivable potency, he manifested all Navadvip pastimes in his heart. And he was so enchanted by that. He could see that, oh, Mahaprabhu is dancing, he's doing these mischievous activities, he is singing, he is reciting or playing with his friends, like that. Then suddenly his dream-like that realization, it broke, and he saw again Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in front of him. And then Mahaprabhu blessed him that, okay, go to Vrindavan, associate with Rupa and Sanatan, you will help to establish the Gauriya Vaishnava philosophy. Especially he wrote that book, Satkriya Sarodipika, which was initiated by Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, and then he started the elementary notes of Sandarbhas, the 6 Sandarbhas, which was later propounded or established by Srila Jiva Goswami, or attributed to him as the writer. And then he also wrote a commentary on Krishna Karnamrita, which is a very esoteric literature written by Srila Bellamangal Thakur. So these are his contribution to our society. But very special thing is that he manifested, he showed that the absolute is sentient. How? He was worshipping the Shalagram, and then he wanted to worship the Lord in his 3 Sachidananda form. Then one of the Shalagrams, it got manifested to Radha Raman. So all glories to Srila Gopal Bhatt Goswami, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, Nitai Gaur Sridhanath Premananda, Hari Hari Bol. We are over time, sorry. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So we will have a Radha Madan Mohan Siman Mahaprabhu Lakshmi Narasimha Panchatattva Acharya Parapara Arati. So everybody can actually put their seats in the respective positions, and we'll make this place available for dancing. So please sing and dance to your heart content. And I ask for your forgiveness if I have spoken something which is against the principle of our Acharyas. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravadi Pacharine Nirvisheshu Sannavadi Bhasyata Deshatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sri Vasadi Sri Gaur Bhakta Binda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Kiba jayo, jayo gora chade, aroti ko shobha. Kiba jayo, jayo gora chade, aroti ko shobha. Jan bhitato mane, jagomon lobha. Dokhine nitai cha, bame gada dharo. Ekate advaita srini Dasa chhatra dharo. Ekate advaita srini Dasa chhatra dharo. করি চামর দোলায় সঞ্জয় মুকুন্দ বাসু গোসাদিকায় সঞ্জয় মুকুন্দ বাসু গোসাদিকায় শঙ্খ বাজে ঘন্টা বাজে বাজে করতাল মধুর নিবন্ধ বাজে পরম রসাল বহু কোটি চন্দ্র যিনি বদন ঝালো ফল দেশে বনমালা করে ঝলমল শিব সুখ নারদ প্রেমে গদ গদ প্রকৃতি বিনোদ দেখে গৌর সংগত হরে কৃষ্ণ 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 হরে 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 রাম 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 হরে হরে Sai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Sai Gaur Hari Bol Sai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Sai Gaur Hari Bol Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. जय जय श्री राधा मदन मोहन की, गौरांग महाप्रभु की, लक्ष्मी नृसिंहदेव भगवान की जय। ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्री अभय चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी शिल प्रभुपाद की जय। ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्री भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर की, नामाचार्य शिल हरिदास ठाकुर की। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्री वासादि श्री गौर भक्तवृंद की। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरी गोवर्धन की। वृंदावन मथुरा धाम की, श्री क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की, मायापुर नवद्वीप धाम की, गंगा मई जमुना माई की, तुलसी महारानी की, समेत भक्तवृंद की। ऑल ग्लोरीज टू द assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories, all glories, all glories, Sisi Guru Gauranga Jayatu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So we just got intimated that a devotee in Ukraine, his name is Krishna Tattva Prabhu, who handles the Food for Life program. He was distributing prasad, and he got killed with another devotee because a bomb got dropped. So we request all the devotees to pray for his protection. Hare Krishna.
Bhakti Vigna Vinashak Shri Shri Lakshmi Nrsimhadev Bhagavan ki jai. Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya. Dalhadaine Narsimha, Hridaye Narsimha. Hare Narsimha, Hridaye Narsimha. Shavadita Nara Hari Rupa Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Shavadita Nara Hari Rupa Jai Jagadish Lakshmi Narasimha Jaya Nara Hari Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha Jaya Nara Hari Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Prahlad Maharaj Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. Shri Lakshmi Nrsimha Dev Bhagavan ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Harinam Sankirtan ki.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you all for joining us today at Sunday Feast Festival here at ISKCO of Silicon Valley. We'd like to thank everyone who has physically come here and also who has joined us online. So let's give a big round of applause to everyone who has joined us. Today is the disappearance day of Gopal Bhatta Goswami. So on that occasion, our speaker for today was His Grace Koladwipa Prabhu, He started the program with singing Jai Nilo Premadhana bhajan, remembering Gopal Bhatta Goswami. And then he spoke about the character of Drona, Eklavya and Arjuna. So let's give a big round of applause to Gopal. Yeah. And Aarti, today's Aarti was led by Vishwapati Prabhu. Let's give a big round of applause. And Narsimha Aarti was led by Jai Kannaya Prabhu. I think he just stepped out, but let's acknowledge him. So for today's feast, we have 3 sponsors. The first sponsor is Mr. Mohan Rao Keta Prabhu. He is sponsoring on the occasion of his birthday and his daughter's Vedashri's birthday. So thank you, Mohan Rao Prabhu, again for sponsoring. You don't miss a chance and the occasion to sponsor the feast. So here is Mahaprasad, and we wish you all the best and pray for your good health and your progress in spiritual journey. Thank you again for sponsoring. Would you like to say a few words?
Yeah, my daughter is not here because she is attending PS school in East Coast. So thank you all devotees. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. And the next sponsor is Shrini Prabhu is sponsoring on behalf of his father. So let's Shrini Prabhu here. I saw him. He was outside. He's in the kitchen. You would like to come? And okay. So let's thank Shrini Prabhu for sponsoring today's Sunday feast. And the last but not the least sponsor for today is His Grace Sham Jagannath Prabhu and Sham Kumari Mataji are sponsoring on the behalf of their cousin marriage. They had recently married and their name is Pawan and Farhana. So thank you, Sham Jagannath Prabhu. Please come and you can please come and accept the small Prasad. Thank you again and wish you all the best. And Hare Krishna. Would you like to say first?
Hare Krishna. First of all, sorry. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for giving us this opportunity, Anaya. And we are here to take blessings from Krishna as well as for our future. We need all devotees' blessings as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Is there any other announcements that I missed? If not, then Vrunda will announce the cooks for today, and then we will have a Prasad Sevya prayers.
Hare Krishna. Today's prasadam was cooked by Neelachal Chandra Mataji, Jamuna Keli Mataji, Dev Prasanna Prabhu, Tadya Seva Prabhu, Pinaki Mataji, Sudevi Sakhi Mataji, Sri Kumar Prabhu, and Dhriti. So we'll have Prasad Sevya prayers now.
Sharira Vidyaja Jodendriya Tahika Jive Vele Vishaya Sagore Karmadya Jivayati Lobuna Sudhimati Sa प्रसाद की निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल गौर हरि Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Please come take prashadam.